Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to change your oil. This works on any car, but I'm going to show you on my 2006 Toyota Corolla. The oil I got here is some Pennzoil 5W30. This is full synthetic. I got an older engine. I picked this oil because it's less likely to break down over time. Doesn't get super thin in the very hot and doesn't get super thick in the very cold. So for an old vehicle like this, and I live in a city where there's a lot of temperature throughout the year one way or the other, this is great oil to have, and that's the decision that I made. I have the ultra synthetic filter. You can buy two different filters. You can buy the regular filter. You can buy an in-between filter, so you can actually buy three different types, or you can buy the full synthetic. I went with this one because I got a great deal. Now the benefit to this one is you can go longer intervals between oil changes, and it's going to keep the oil cleaner over time. But I don't wait this long. This is saying up to 15,000 miles. I change my oil every 3,000 miles. Tools you're going to need: a pair of nitrile gloves, just keep your hands protected. Got a socket wrench here with a 14mm for the drain plug. Some paper towels just for cleanup. Stuff happens. Funnel here, put the oil in, and once the oil makes its way into the bucket here, to put it into a container to transport it down to recycle. I got a drain pan here, just to kind of keep the messes on this instead of on the ground, and then I have my drain bucket for the oil. So we're going to go ahead and push this underneath here. Now, you can jack your car up to get underneath. There's not a lot of need to. You'll see here shortly how I can fit myself just under the corner of my car and reach back and get the drain plug out. If you ever don't have to jack your car up, I prefer to do that, because by doing that you're adding extra risk to it when it's not needed. So the one thing you are going to want to do is, if you have a automatic car, make sure to put it in park and put the e-brake on. If you have a manual car, put it in first gear, and then just throw a couple 2x4s, one in the front here and one in the back here, just to keep your car from rolling on you. So that's pretty much the tools and the how to get this started. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now. I'm going to show you how I position myself here to be able to get out the drain nut. If you just kind of come from the front angle of the car here, you can reach underneath here and gain access. Alright. So you can see how I fit under here without any jacking the car up. I'm just going to make it easier. So I got the nut loose there. We're just going to twist it off. With the nut there's going to be a washer, so make sure to grab that. So we're going to let all this oil drain out here. So here's the oil filter. One of the things you need to do is move your oil pan up and your drain pan up, your drain bucket up, because when you undo this, it's going to create a little bit of a mess here. Oil's gonna leak down, and there's really no avoiding it. So when you take this off here, it's just gonna make a little bit of a mess. And the oil will be hot, so just make sure you kind of loosen it there, let it drain out a little. And just take it off, empty it out into the bucket, and then set it on your oil pan. So this is what the drain plug looks like. There's a black washer on there. Very important. If you don't have that, you have metal on metal contact. When you put this back in, it's going to create leakage. So if you ever lose that or break it, or it just gets old and cracks, any of that type of stuff, you can buy these at any auto parts store. A couple bucks for a new drain plug and a washer. Something that you'll probably have to replace eventually. It's always good to have an extra on hand, so you don't get caught in the middle of an oil change and not have it. So now we're going to go ahead and show you how to get this put back in. So pretty straightforward. You're just going to find the hole back here, and you're just going to start putting that in. Get it hand tight. Once you're hand tight, use your wrench to get it tight. You don't have to crank this thing on there. It just needs to be tight enough, you know, where you put some pressure on it and it stops. So you don't have to wrench it down too tight. So now we're going to put the oil filter, the new oil filter in. So this is what the new oil filter looks like. This is a 4967. This is the full synthetic. Again, they have 3 different models. If it's a Fram, they got like a good, better, best type setup. They're all 4967, just different numbers or different letters in front of them. So what you want to do is open up your oil, your new oil, and you want to fill this about, I'm going to do it on the ground here, but you want to fill it about half full, create less work on your oil pump, and then we're going to rub some oil in here and around the O-ring just for a good seal. So there we go, got it full. Let's take my finger, kind of get that O-ring covered, get all the oil in there. Nice and good. Set it right here, and now we're going to put it in. So now, just going to get that new oil filter back in there. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So when we're putting it back on, it's just right. Same thing with oil filters. You don't want to like put these on so tight that you can't get them off the next time. It just needs to be hand tight. So we got the new one back on here. So now we're going to fill this up with oil. You're going to remove your cap here. You're going to use a funnel. I'm going to put that in there. The Toyota takes 4.4 quarts. I bought this in a 5 quart. Got a great deal on it. So we're going to get it down. Kind of got a measuring on back of about where. And then we will test it to make sure it's within range. So we're going to go ahead and start to fill this up. Okay, now all the hard work's done, so now we're going to start the car up, let it run for a second, and test the oil and see where the level is at. So you're going to start your car up, let it idle here for a few seconds, and you're going to rev it up to 2,000 RPMs. Now hold it there for about 5 seconds or so. Let it come back down to idle. And turn the car off. So you can use shop rags. I recently moved into an apartment, so a lot of that stuff I got boxed up, so I got some paper towels here. But Here's your dipstick. I'm just going to pull that out, wipe it clean, and put it back in here. And pull it out and see where the oil's at. And we can see, if you see those two little bumps there, you can see the oil is almost right up to that second bump. So our oil is at the perfect level. So we are done. So that's it on how to change your oil on a 2006 Corolla. Make sure you get your oil put in a container and taken down to a recycle plant so you can get it recycled. Stay safe.